Hi, I'm Don Charlton. I'm founder and CEO of a software company here in Pittsburgh called the Resumator. We're a recruiting software platform for small and medium-sized businesses. We're growing pretty fast and it's exciting times. I was a jock in high school, but I had a dirty little secret. I'd like to go down to the library in the morning with my floppy disks and program games. But I was always a really good artist, so I went off to school for graphic design. And somewhere along the way between graphic design, like towards my senior year, I started remembering my love of writing programs and making those programs do things on the screen. And I was able to do that with my creative side of being a designer. And I think that, you know, those two the merging of those two loves, being an artist and also being a programmer, allowed me to kind of venture into the path that I'm in. I have no background in HR, none. But I did have to hire people at my previous employer, and it was a pain. I thought, well, you know what? That was a problem that I had that was very painful for me in my career. Let me see if I can use the skills that I have to build a piece of software to solve that problem, specifically for somebody who doesn't have recruiting experience. And I like to call it the entrepreneurial coma. You just kind of black out, you start writing code, next thing you know you have an app, and then next thing you know you have a company.
I'm originally from upstate New York, from the Albany, New York area, and I lived in various places around Pennsylvania right out of graduating from Cornell. And after 4 years of working in human resources, I decided to get my MBA and selected the Tepper Business School because of its quantitative nature, and I really wanted to get into more of a quantitative MBA program. At this point in my career, I've worked at various startups, I've worked at very large, great brand companies, and I think for me this has been a wonderful transition back to a small company that is developing itself into a great brand, and so I'm really proud to be here and to try to help the Resumator achieve its really aggressive goals.
I started as an intern about 2 months ago, and then I'm going to be working full-time. While I was a student at the University of Pittsburgh, I decided that I really wanted to have a career where I can actually kind of apply the skills that I had. I kind of already have a degree, and so once I had an opportunity to be an intern at the Resumator, I really liked the environment and the people that worked here and the startup nature of it, and decided that I wanted to kind of stay and pursue this full time. I like how the Resumator is a small company, but we still have really large clients. We still have a really giant effect on the industry that we're in. And I love because there aren't too many of us that there isn't a big corporate bureaucracy for us to kind of deal with on a daily basis. We all have a really great voice, and we all have input that's really taken into account so that we can kind of make the most of ourselves and the people that we have.
I started off at Pitt, and I actually graduated in 3 years. At the end of my first year, I met Don Charlton, the CEO of Resumator. And back then, we had a couple dozen clients really starting out, and I saw the vision of what it could be. So I started working with Don about 2.5 years ago, and since then we've been able to build a pretty substantial business. And it's pretty exciting to have something like that come out of Pittsburgh. As you can imagine, 2 people early on, Don was everything product and I was a lot of everything else. So anything from marketing to sales to customer support, retention. So as the company grew out, I kind of took over the reins of customer success. We started off in the Alpha Lab program in the South Side. Don graduated from there with the company. A few months after that, that's when I came on board and we were in our first little suite in the Riverside Center for Innovation. So we did have an office. It was pretty small. We had issues with the heating and the cooling, typical type of startup story, but we were able to graduate eventually into this space, which is exciting.